let's say you have a friend. You come to him and you say, hey, I'm curious, what's your thoughts on the free will debate? They say, I don't really tend to think about that stuff, but it probably doesn't exist. You ask them, why do you say that? And maybe they express they read a convincing article once, but they never really gave it much thought after that. Ultimately, you guys disagree. You remain friends or whatever. As far as you're concerned, you have a lot in common with the guy. You love the guy for a myriad of reasons, or girl, whatever. So you guys keep being friends, and you guys go on. Then you go to Alex O'Connor, whom you've known for a while. You ask him his thoughts on free will. He says, "Oh my God, this stuff is so interesting. I've read so much on the topic." He tells you about his view. You guys disagree. You notice several things during the discussion. First, he places a special amount of emphasis on the definition of free will, or the consensus that he has, or the consensus has. The usual. Even after you've denied the normal framing of the concept in the debate and explained why. Second, he makes the argument, if you introspect, you must find that free will does not exist just because. You're a little shocked because he wouldn't usually make that as a sufficient argument for other issues, but for this one, he's okay with it here. Regardless, you keep discussing because he has other points, right? You notice that he redefines reason so that the sentence, "you go to the store for this reason," is a misnomer. If determined there was no reason, there is only a determined cause. He says, yup, it's an illusion. Never mind that I can keep going with that line of thinking. He has to redefine ideas, the word ideas, as being just determined illusions, which is a misappropriation of the word and the concept. Everything that is non-material for determinists has to be reduced, the definition has to be reduced to illusion plus a particular wibbly wobbly feeling. Like Craig said, integrity wouldn't be a thing. You might as well say, it would be a thing. It would be an illusion of a feeling like you have been consistent. But there is no consistency. It's an illusion plus wibbly wobbly feelings. Like a god, it can't really, this whole free will stuff, it can't really be proven or disproven. If there's a god to be discovered, there might be another one. Who made that god? And on and on and on. If determinism feels true to you, then nothing. You will what you must, and it will still feel like you're making choices. But the ultimate cause of your uncontrollable desires may very well still be determined by that God or prime mover, which Alex says there's a lot of evidence for. Yet in a deterministic framework, it would mean that prime mover that gave you desires gave some people desires just to crush them. Why am I making this equivalency? It's to illustrate what Alex is trying to appeal to. Some people are just determined to be happier, some people are just determined to have a happier end of the stick. God's chosen. The point of this, kind of like everything a determinist has to say, the point of it is not actually to think, okay? The point is to suggest that you have no power over your circumstances. That's the entire point. Then use that to justify anything under the sun. Craig was nice about it, probably because he invited him, but Alex knows better. Why did I bring up the friend example at the beginning? Because the contrast between people who don't know enough and people who know so much that they know better than the garbage that they spew is important. Because the issue is not actually about proof, because it cannot be proved. You can't prove one or the other. Because we'll never know. Not with absolute certainty that the first and primary cause, we'll never know what that is. You can't actually be totally certain. There just might be a prime mover up there before that first cause that causes all of this. Or maybe multiple prime movers. Who knows? The issue does boil down simply to people who are happy and have a positive desire to enjoy life, and those who want to take it all away. The issue is not about proof. It's not. The determinist that knows a lot about these things, who thinks about these things, the more and more you learn, the more and more you quickly realize, if I have free will, too much falls apart. Too much. I think, and then you say to yourself, I think I'm going to rationalize this. I'm going to rationalize that. I'm going to rationalize this. I'm going to rationalize that. I'm going to invent a definition for this. I'm going to change the definition of that. It keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going. This is the true issue. Like, there's no real conversation to be had about proof and all this. People are making fun of me and others, saying that it's just evidently the case, or it's necessary to keep going. It's necessary for all these things. But that's what it boils down to. It is the difference between somebody that wants to control your life and somebody that wants you to do your own thing.